pretty decent. I say decent, but this is my memory. Maybe I would need to go back and check. Tomb Raider also came out in '96. Great year for video games. I remember Lara Croft's voice acting pretty good. She's a good, you know, sort of English gentlewoman, but also happens to raid tombs. You touched on it a little bit earlier. That's what jumps out at me about that game is I don't know how I played it. Like, it's almost impossible to control by modern standards.
It's a hard game to go back to. I will never forget, though, sort of going through caves and just discovering these huge vistas. And the first thing that's going through my mind is like, how do I get from here to all the way down to the ground so I could just enter that temple? There was a sense of discovery that was still very fresh in that game.
It was absolutely a puzzle game masquerading, you know, disguised as an action game.
You guys gotta mention the moment you come around the corner and it goes ding 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 and there's the T-Rex and you're like, what?
Yeah, that was a legitimate like holy cow moment.
It was just such a great surprise in that game where like you had so focused on making sure you don't kill that character, suddenly you had to worry about something.
It sort of continues. It sort of continues that Indiana Jones tradition of, you know, sort of a down-to-earth, grounded adventure game, but then there's some supernatural, you know, element in it. Not necessarily a twist, but you know, once you saw that T-Rex, like you didn't know, like all doors were open at that point.
No, I did enjoy that game because it made me use my brain a lot. Like I constantly remember just fumbling through, okay, what to do next? How do I sort of get through these puzzles? But going to Pear's point a little bit about combat, combat was not good, but it was made to look as flashy as possible, even though it wasn't good. Because think about it, you're backflipping, shooting through the air.
Yeah, that's great.
You're two things, bats.
Yeah, like you can vault to the side and shoot at things, and there's no way to really target it that well. So you're kind of like just firing bullets into the ether. Nothing.
I mean, the thing that people forget now, you know, now that we have, you know, 15, 20 years later in the future, is that we were 12 months back from playing Genesis and Super Nintendo. 12 months ago, that was video games, and 12 months later, it's Tomb Raider and it's Mario 64, and that's just an absolutely incredible leap. And they were still figuring out how 3D games should look and feel and control.
Yeah, if you think about the last 3D games on the Super NES were like your Star Fox and Stunt Race FX, Wild Tracks, right? Like those games that ran at a really slow frame rate had like, you know, single color polygon characters, and suddenly you get Mario 64. In the arcades, you got like Virtua Racing and Daytona. So it was just kind of kicking off this whole
Daytona.
3D.